Hi, this is Tapcat. Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. We are ready to talk to our next witness, Polly Powell. Let's see what she's got to say.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Yeah, don't get lippy with me, lady.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street, prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Okay. Is there anything... Yeah, I think we go to Scotland Yard at this point.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
The funny thing is, we really haven't found anything so far that would suggest he is not guilty. No one saw him pull the trigger, but like, there's been absolutely no sign of anyone else in that alley, unless you somehow form a hypothesis that the two of them killed each other, which doesn't...
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
It doesn't seem likely.
A cheap watch. Bought with his own money, no doubt. So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
Okay. It's interesting that this one is a discolored.
It seems as though the shells...
All right, he's not interested in that. Maybe now.
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
I see, because the primers had been used. That's why they look different. Okay. Yep. That's not really too out there. Is that a thing? I'm just gonna spam these really quick. Turner could hear the contrast between two fired shots, as in fact 3 shots were made. At first a single, and then 2 guns fired simultaneously directly afterward. You know, I'm game. I'll try that theory on. Oh. Well, okay. I mean, we'll see. I can always, I can always switch it up. Any of this other stuff? Oh, wow. Going on a little deduction rampage here. Yep, that is true. Don't really know what to do about that, to be honest. Yeah, that... Okay, so that doesn't link up. Okay, I think we've taken our deductions as far as they can go at the moment. Let's talk to the young man himself. I'd hate to have to tell Wiggins that his brother is going to get the rope.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
He said brother, right? It wasn't his cousin or whatever? I don't know.
Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Okay, well that makes me... That's like the first thing that's made me think he's innocent. Because it's like he actually, has faith in Holmes's reputation, and him he'll give the information to, believing that the truth would actually help him. Office clerk, huh? Boy, he looks like he's had it rough. Oh. He knew that one guy, I bet. They were both in Westgate.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work, and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head, and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead, and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Westgate prisoners.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released, and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
I do believe he's innocent. What is this telling me? The person whom Leighton Chapman describes in his statements as a figment. Wow, really? What? Can I like undo that? I don't believe that. I think I already tested these. Oh, no, that works. Violent crime in Half Moon Street by Leighton Chapman could have had personal motive. Shut up. No. I don't believe this. I don't. Seriously, come on. This is literally the only one that's even giving me a choice. Hold on. Do I have anything? There was a possible crossfire between Kenneth Butler and Brian Vercotti at Half Moon Street. Examine the... Okay, we're going to go do that because I'm not doing that solution. I don't believe it's true. So, I also should check... Let's check the archives. I guess I'll go to Half Moon Street first. Okay. Here we go. Going to examine the bodies again. Man, it's so dark.
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
Ah, the murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that worthless brother of yours.
One of the victims possibly fired his gun twice. Find out. Oh, hell. I can't even remember. Didn't they say it was Vercotti who had the gun? Hold on. Let me get out of here. Or, oh man, I can't remember. What did he say? This could take a while. I left my work. It was blah blah blah. Okay. Yeah. A flash, I saw his gun. Panicked. Anyway, I approached the bodies. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. So it was Butler who had the gun. Okay. Him. So we think that maybe he... accidentally shot...
I am unable to see any higher. I need to find something to lift my lamp.
Of course. That's what the pole is for. Elementary,
This should
my
be
dear
useful.
tap cat. Elementary. Bullet impact.
This is most definitely a bullet hole. The brick cracks are fresh. Watson, there was a third shot fired in this street.
Okay. So a statement regarding the jacketed man now seems reasonable. And I assume I'm going to have to do an action. That's okay. Let's do that. Yeah, well, I don't believe this one anyway. That's so funny. Man, it was totally ready to let me solve it the other way. Holy crap. Okay, let's talk to Constable Marrow.
Constable Marrow, I would value your assistance in this investigation.
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street where a man could hide while you were running through it with your lamp.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp and start walking, just as you did before, and try to find me.
Understood.
Oh, so I'm Marrow now? Okay. Now, am I supposed to do this, I guess? Like, really look? Okay. Fair enough.
I can see you very well, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
Now, of course, we don't know if Marrow was really that thorough.
Here you are, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
I wouldn't be totally shocked if, you know, the constable missed something, but I'm not going to sandbag it. We'll try to honestly fulfill what we were asked to do. And I don't see him. I guess this is the one. He'll, oh, that was really good.
Mr. Holmes, it wasn't difficult to find you at all.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's lamp while hiding in the street.
So what does that mean? If we can assume that there was one more person at the time of the crime, there's no way forward or back, only up. Let us reenact the action. Recreate the fireworks described by Layton in an attempt to climb the wall? Are you friggin' kidding me? Yikes. Find the flare gun and climbing equipment. Where am I supposed to do that? Yeah, no, seriously, where am I supposed to do that? I mean, I don't... Wait, isn't there something... Oh, it's just a stupid bottle. Is this the alley? No. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. What flare gun? I don't suppose he knows anything.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Find the flare gun to emulate the fireworks and tools for climbing the wall. Maybe back at Baker Street? I think it's time to go back to Baker Street. Okay, so the first thing I actually want to do, because I know this is a thing we can do, is to search the newspapers for the bracelets, or search our archives. I'm not confident this is going to be in the papers. It's not this, is it?
That is not the one I need.
Okay, I don't see anything that looks likely in newspapers. We can try the encyclopedia. Art and architecture. Wow, I got lucky on that one. Okay. So it may have been missing from the museum for years.
Here it is. I need to continue my research in my archives.
Use article about antiques. What am I trying to find? They've been missing from the museum. So, should I go here? Oh, man. And I actually thought this might have something to do with it. Pawn shop owner Kenneth Butler contacted Scotland Yard that night and provided information regarding a gentleman who had attempted to sell him a collection of historical art at his pawn shop. The police have since captured the described man, a professional thief by the name of Vincent Foley. So I wonder if Mr. Foley is a suspect for revenge.
One of the victims, Kenneth Butler, was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
Okay, before I do that, first I have a deduction. Let's see. Latent statements, long lost art? No. Okay. Long lost art. Third shot? No. Okay. I don't think any of these... Oh, never mind. Kenneth Butler, both died crossfire, with each of them holding a gun. One of the guns is now missing. Kenneth Butler and Brian Vercotti were the victims of a double murder carried out by one person. I mean... Crap, I don't know. I don't freaking know. I'll say double murder. Yeah, I honestly don't know. We're gonna do more work, and then we'll worry about it. Now, what I was gonna do is look around and see if we have flare gun or tools that might come in handy for our little thing that we're supposed to do. Oh, I forgot. There's going to be a letter. Okay. I'm actually not particularly interested in the letter, so I'm not going to read it. Let's see. So that's just the thing that we pulled. And then I need to find a use for that key, which is probably going to open the pawn shop now that I think about it. That's makeup. That's wardrobe. What the heck is that thing there? Fishing reel or something? No. God, I honestly can't tell. At any rate, it doesn't matter. So I was really hoping to find a flare gun. Not gonna lie. And, you know what? I don't see one. So, I guess it's, on to the pawn shop. Yeah. And where is ye old pawn shop, eh? Is this it? Wouldn't there be a sign? That's not it. Okay, I can't talk to that guy.
Mr. Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
Yep. Well, it is his pawn shop, so. There's that. Yep, the counter door. Is there anything out here? Shelves, examine. Oh, I'll tell you this. Yeah, I was just going to say.
These tools are exactly what I need to climb the wall.
If I found a flare gun or climbing tools, I would be all over it, baby. And shelves, examine. Oh, flare
This is
pistol.
exactly what we need in order to imitate the flash of the fireworks.
Perfect. I'm just gonna say it. It was perfect. Yeah, that's fine, but what about the rest of the stuff in the shop? Nothing? Yeah. So I guess that was all I needed. Okay. Investigate the ancient bracelet. Find out how it could have appeared at Half Moon Street. So we haven't maybe gone as far as we could with that. What about the counter? I just noticed that. Are you telling me there's... Yeah, okay.
It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations.
Good.
It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his...
So that's it? I can't... Necklace.
The ram's heads. This necklace belongs to the 5 Rams of Mittelin collection. Interesting. That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft.
I wonder if him and that other guy were partners, and then he ratted the other guy out. Hello, Kenneth. I remember you once told me about 3 pieces of golden jewelry with ram heads from ancient Greece. You still got them, right? Well, good news for you. I've found a man loaded with money who's crazy about those jewels. He's ready to fork out a small fortune. I can arrange a meeting with this money bag for you, but I want you to cut me in on the deal. I'll be waiting for you at the crossing of Great Alley and Half Moon Street on Sunday evening before the fireworks. And this is from Verkati. Okay. Yep, so we need to use the flare gun. No problem with that. Let's see. Long Lost Art and Butler's Jewel. Oh, no? Really? Wow. It could be the motive for the crime. I'm actually thinking it is the motive for the crime. Man, I swear I do not know the answer to these questions. However, hopefully it will become more clear. We will go to the alley and attempt a recreation. But that will have to wait for our next installment because that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I hope we see you next time.